Hello and welcome to the 12th Horseshoe podcast, sponsored by Proven Italian Eatery in Moonachie, New Jersey. Jack Rizzo from Indiana, and I'm Elijah Weintraub. We have a crazy week 2 to recap and a week 3 preview ahead. And we had one heck of a week for the two of us in terms of our picks. Jack went 11-5 and 2-1 at LSU. I went 13-3 and 3-0 in LSU. Jack, how are you doing? How's Indiana?
Yeah, it's been really fun so far, and a really fun week too around the league. We both performed very well this week. Last year we were both 6-10 in week 2, so a big bounce back for both of us in that regard. A lot of crazy games, a lot of crazy finishes. Some games that we weren't expecting to be crazy were in fact crazy, and I'm kind of pointing to one game here, which we'll get to in just a couple moments. But excited to get the show rolling, and excited to be back with you, Eli, for another episode.
Absolutely. And we talked about the Thursday night game previously with Commanders and the Packers. And if you don't remember, the Packers did get a victory in that game 27-18. We both got that pick right. We go to the Browns and the Ravens. And this is a no surprise game that this was the score and the way it was performed. The Ravens won 41-17. We both got the pick right. I got the lock right for that one. I mean, this is just another win for the Ravens, and the Browns are struggling for sure.
Yeah, nice way for the Ravens to bounce back. How about DeAndre Hopkins? He's still got it. He's played very well the first 2 weeks. Lamar Jackson doing his thing. The Ravens defense played great. They had a touchdown on defense on Sunday. Really nice performance all around. Nice bounce back performance. And to be honest, I'm not really sure how much longer we're going to see Joe Flacco under center for the Browns. You should probably put one of the two rookies in there just to see what you have for them, because Joe Flacco's not going anywhere right now, to be quite honest.
No question about it. And now we move on to the Bengals and the Jaguars, where we have an injury report. Joe Burrow is going to be out. He will be requiring surgery because of a toe injury he suffered, and he was out. However, the Bengals still survived that game. They won 31-27, closer than we thought. And we both got that pick right for the Bengals. It was a close game for the Jaguars. They had a chance. Obviously, the Joe Burrow injury was a big factor to why the score was closer than expected. But should we be expecting more from the Jaguars this weekend? And how should the Bengals play this weekend now that they have the Vikings coming up, which both are battling quarterback injuries?
Well, the Jags are going to be really disappointed that they lost this one. I mean, they were the better team the entire game. They had 3 interceptions off Jake Browning, who only played about one half in this game after Burrow went down in the second quarter. You know, Trevor Lawrence and the offense moved the ball pretty much all game, and they still somehow found a way to lose. Penalties, not converting on high-quality opportunities. Brian Thomas having a really bad game. A lot of drops, just not really showing much effort. And this is a really disappointing performance from the Jaguars. I mean, this was a prime opportunity to go to 2-0, and they just failed to do so. Meanwhile, on the Bengals front, this is obviously a bittersweet win. I mean, they're 2-0. That's something that almost never happens. They are so bad to start the season. Give credit to Jake Browning for coming in and leading the Bengals to a victory despite throwing 3 interceptions. But the Joe Burrow injury is huge. I mean, he's going to be out for at least 3 months. Could be the entire season. And, the Bengals have a lot of really tough games during that stretch, and I'm not sure if they're going to be able to survive. I think the Bengals should probably consider bringing in a vet quarterback like a Jameis Winston. I mean, just imagine Jameis Winston with Jamar Chase and T. Higgins. He would throw for 500 yards every game with 5 touchdowns. He'd probably also throw like 3 interceptions, but it would be total chaos, and it would be so much fun. Jake Browning's fine, but I think the Bengals could really do better, go out and find a veteran quarterback. And as in terms of next week's game, they're just going to have to limit the turnovers on offense. The Vikings defense is great at taking the ball away, and that's what they're going to have to do there. We'll get to that in a bit, but obviously a bittersweet win for the Bengals. It was a very back-and-forth game, and one of the better games of the Sunday slate.
Yeah, that was definitely a very good game to watch. Not the best one in the 1 o'clock window. We're going to talk about that one in a little bit. But let's go right ahead on out to the Patriots and the Dolphins. The Dolphins once again lost, but the score was surprisingly close, 33-27 the final. And although the Patriots got the victory in this game, I think there should be some concern for this Patriots team because their schedule's not going to get a little easier. It's going to just get a little tougher. And I don't think the Patriots are going to be the team that we all thought that they were going to be originally when we started just 2 weeks ago.
Yeah, there's no question, Eli. The Patriots still have a lot of stuff they need to figure out. But with that being said, this is a really nice way to bounce back from the week 1 loss, especially with a division win on the road in a place that they don't usually win. They have not won very much in Miami. In fact, that was their first ever win against Tua Tagovailoa last Sunday. So a really impressive win there. Drake May looked really good in that game. I mean, he was very efficient passing, had a rushing touchdown as well. The Patriots have quite a bit to figure out on defense, but I will say, what a crazy moment in that game. the Dolphins taking the lead on a punt return touchdown, and then the Patriots immediately following it up with a kick return touchdown, and that ended up being enough as they won the game 33-27. I think there should be more concern on the Dolphins' part. I mean, Tua has just not looked good at all
No.
this season. I don't know what's going on there. I feel bad for Devon Achane because he's been incredible and he just has no
Yeah.
help around him. The defense has really regressed after a strong season last year. They've given up at least 30 points in each of the 3 games this year. You know, Mike McDaniel's really on the hot seat. And I don't even think it's a thing where he could be fired by the end of the season. He could be fired within the next month if the Dolphins don't turn this around.
I 1000% agree with that. And the Dolphins have to look at a lot of things. I think quarterback is definitely one of the biggest things they have to watch out for. If they continue to lose games, though, they're in prime possession getting that number 1 pick, and they better use that pick to get a quarterback and not hold on to Tua. Mike McDonald, the head coach, I think he's got to I think he could stay. He could stay for a couple more years, I think, in my opinion. I think it just comes down to the quarterback, and the quarterback was the biggest issue in Miami.
Yeah, I just don't think they're going to keep McDaniel. I think they'll just, if they can get rid of Tua, I think they'll just get rid of him. They'll probably fire the GM too, and the GM will probably want to bring in their own head coach. So
that is fair. Let's go to the next game. I mean, this is no surprise here. The Bills destroyed the Jets 30-10. The Bills win another game, no surprise. The Jets lose another one, and they also lose their quarterback in Justin Fields, who will be out this week again. And the Jets really had no luck whatsoever. They start the season now 0-2. They had a promising game on week 1 and looked like there was some potential and hope this season. But now, with no Justin Fields, we are just right back to square one with this New York Jets team.
yeah, Eli. Well, the really disappointing thing for the Jets in this game was their offense. I mean, week 1, they put up 32 points against the Steelers defense that's been one of the best over the last couple of years. And then they were facing a Bills defense that gave up 40 points in week 1. They didn't particularly look that good last night, which we'll get to in a bit. And they only put up 10 points. I mean, Justin Fields had less than 30 passing yards in the game. And keep in mind, he didn't get hurt until late in the game. I mean, Tyrod Taylor had more passing yards than he did in the short time he came in. I don't know what the problem was with this Jets offense. I mean, they were so bad that Josh Allen didn't even have to do anything in this game. I mean, they just relied on James Cook, who was incredible. That one touchdown already had was unbelievable. And this was just an easy win for the Buffalo Bills. I mean, I think we can already lock the Bills, Eli, in for another AFC East division title at this point. It doesn't really seem
there's no question.
They're not going to have any competition. 2 of these teams are still winless. We still don't know what we're going to get out of the Patriots. So I think the Bills are well on their way to winning another AFC East division title.
As long as if they stay healthy, which is going to be key. And even if there are some unhealthy injuries, they should still be they should still be the favorite, I should say, to move far. Let's go now to the Rams and the Titans. Well, no surprise there. The Rams got a big victory, 33-19. The Titans team, you know, it's I guess you could say a struggling run. They're now 0-2 to start the season, but they had a potential last week with Denver, and now it looks like, yeah, the Titans are the Titans, and the Rams, they got another win.
Yeah, well, I don't think the Titans have really played that bad. I mean, I know they're 0-2, but they played 2 very good football teams. I mean, they were leading the Rams at halftime, 13-10. You know, Sean McVay obviously came out in the second half and made adjustments. Good job by him. I will say I do think Cam Ward has played quite well the first 2 weeks. I just don't think he has any help around him. I mean, his offensive line is terrible. His receivers aren't that great. But I think he has showed a lot of potential, and without a doubt, the potential to be the franchise guy for Tennessee. Meanwhile, on the Rams front, I kind of want to talk about the Rams too, because I really like this team. I mean, that receiving duo of Puka Nacua and Devontae Adams might be the best. It probably is the best in the league, actually. I mean, you've got a Hall of Famer on one side and a top 5 receiver in the league on the other side. Matthew Stafford's in heaven right now. Kyron Williams, really good running back. The defense played well. The Rams are without a doubt a team that could contend for a Super Bowl.
And now we go to one of the best games of the 1 o'clock window. It went to overtime, and it was crazy. The Giants lose to the Cowboys 40-37 in overtime. Well, let's explain how it happened in overtime. Well, Russell Wilson, he did pretty good. He did an amazing throw to Neighbors, and he looked really good. But then the old Russell Wilson that we all know and love came back to life and threw an interception, pretty much costing the game. And just like that, with a phenomenal kicking by Cowboys and Aubrey, 40-37 is the final. Dallas is your winner. Unbelievable game.
I don't even know where to start with this game. There was so much that happened in this game. I mean, can we start off with the first drive of the game? The Giants left tackle getting 4 penalties on that drive
I know.
and then being benched. I mean, how do you get 4 penalties on the same drive? Like, that is
I
just
know.
crazy that you're in the NFL and that happens. And it was funny enough, it was a pretty low scoring first half. And then the second half, the two offenses just decided to go bonkers. I mean, you had Javonte Williams running through the Giants defense, CeeDee Lamb and George Pickens showing out. On the Giants side, Malik Neighbors having the game of his life. Wan'Dale Robinson having over 100 yards receiving. Russell Wilson setting his career high in passing yards in a game. It was an absolutely insane game. Malik Neighbors, I think, was maybe the best player in this game. Just the catches he made were unbelievable. And, Malik Neighbors is almost like that Bugatti in the trailer meme because I feel so bad that he's this good and he's on the Giants. Anyways, I mean, to be fair, the Giants defense was really bad yesterday, and that's not what they should be. I mean, the Giants defense is supposed to be the strength of this team, and the Cowboys offense is not supposed to be as good this year. And they had really bad game management at the end of the game. And you mentioned Eli, that overtime interception by Russell Wilson. The throw wasn't even close. It was almost like a punt. Donovan Wilson could have called a fair catch on the interception. That's how bad the throw was, and it did end up costing them the game. But how about Brandon Aubrey, 64-yarder to send it into
that
overtime.
Was awesome.
It's unbelievable how good these kickers are now.
I know.
It really is. And Brandon Aubrey, and not only that, how accurate he is too. And what a crazy game. I don't really think it's that impressive of a win for Dallas. I kind of think the Giants just gave this one away. But hey, this is probably a season-saving win for the Cowboys. It's really hard to start 0-2 and end up making the playoffs.
Well, yeah, you made a great point, though. I mean, this is honestly, the Giants could have won the game, except they just played sloppy at the end. And it turns out, look at Dallas. They come around, they go, hello, we're going to go to overtime. We're going to have our kicker do magic. And there you go. And back to the kicking part. You're absolutely right. I mean, the kicking so far this year has been pretty good. Hopefully it stays like that. And not just there, on College Game Day, too. I know it's not the NFL, but the kickers have been pretty good except for last week. But other than that, 2 for 3, which is awesome.
Yep. So,
the kicking contest. But
speaking of College Game Day, can't believe they're not coming to Bloomington this week. They're going to Miami. Why are they going to the Gators? The Florida Gators are terrible. Why are they going to Miami?
They want Miami welcomed them with open arms. Apparently, Indiana did not welcome them with open arms, and Indiana's game is on NBC. So,
boo.
They're probably going to stop at Disney World prior to their trip.
Shameful. Shameful. All right, whatever.
Next.
Let's move.
Well, we're just gonna. We could skip this one. Literally, I mean, the Lions destroyed the Bears, 52-21. I think if you were in that market area, I think you were at that point ready to just watch whatever was on the Food Network because it was.
I'm in that market.
Oh, you were in that market.
In that market. Yeah, the game was on. I was thinking of the Fox game here.
Did you switch to the Food Network?
No, I was watching Red Zone.
Okay, well, good. I was gonna say because this is the game where it's like, all right, let's take a look at the Food Network, see what's on.
Oh my God, just I don't even know what to say about this one. I mean, what is going on with the Bears? I just don't think the Bears are ever going to change. I just think they're always going to be this team who has such high expectations before the season starts, and then they go out on the field and they look like this. Just absolutely a terrible performance. I mean, 52 points by the Lions. They scored 13 points all of last week. I will say this win by the Lions make the Packers look even more good than they already seem to be with the way they played last week. Amon-Ra St. Brown with 3 touchdowns. Jahmyr Gibbs, David Montgomery, Jamison Williams, all with touchdowns. Isaac Tesla, the receiver, with another one-handed catch this week after the crazy one he made last week. And the Lions defense having a really nice performance. The Lions will be just fine. I think they showed that this week that they're still going to be 100%. Good. I mean, at least we think so. The Bears could just be really, really bad, and this is what most teams are going to do to them. But anyways, nice win for the Lions. Great bounce-back win. They've got a tough one, though, next week, which we'll get to in a bit.
They do. They do indeed. And now the next game. Wow, this was closer than I thought. 49ers defeat the Saints barely, 26-21. Well, the 49ers are battling injuries with Brock Purdy being out. Made kind of sense, but a little bit closer than we thought. Was this just the Saints' luck in week 2, as always?
I just think the Saints have been better than what we thought they'd be. I mean, they only lost by 7 to the Cardinals in week 1, and then they only lose by 5 to the 49ers. I honestly think Spencer Rattler has looked pretty good as the quarterback. I don't think there's any reason to go to Tyler Shuck yet. The defense has some work to do, but I think the Saints have been much better than they have been. Now, granted, they've been at home, and they played two teams who are kind of wishy-washy, to put it in your terms, Eli. But either way, a good job by the 49ers. I mean, not having Brock Purdy, not having George Kittle, not having other players. And Mac Jones played pretty well in this game and ultimately led the 49ers to the win. And, it's been a bit sloppy for them, but 2-0 is 2-0. And a nice win overall for San Francisco. But give credit to the Saints. They're 0-2, but they're not a pushover team like we all thought they would be.
The next game we're going to talk about, well, Seattle took care of business down in old Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania. We got to see the true colors once again of Mr. Aaron Rodgers. And what was the final score? 31-17. Upset correct for Mr. Elijah. Appreciate that. Jack, by the way, he got the survivor right for the Cowboys and lock right for the Rams. But yeah, I'm happy that they won. I'm happy to see Aaron Rodgers show his true colors once again. It makes you feel so much better. Obviously, a lot of things that could be changed definitely for Seattle as we head into the Saints next week, especially on the offensive side. But other than that, though, really good game for Seattle, and I'm glad they got the win.
Yeah, for sure. I don't know why. I woke up on Sunday and I was just like, I feel very confident that the Seahawks are going to win this game for whatever reason. And well, look what happened. They won by 14 points.
Yeah.
I mean, we have got to talk about that kickoff return blunder by the Steelers.
That was awesome.
How does that even happen? How are you on a kick that you literally have one job, literally one job, and you somehow
mess it up?
That just, I don't know. That's just kind of what the Mike Tomlin Steelers have become at this point. And Aaron Rodgers just did not look good at all on Sunday. Now, I will say, the Seahawks have one of the best defenses in the league, so not many quarterbacks are going to be looking good against their defense. But Aaron Rodgers looked like the Aaron Rodgers looked like the 41-year-old Aaron Rodgers. And then offensively for Seattle, yeah, I agree. Things to clean up, but Kenneth Walker had a really nice game, which is obviously great. Because when Kenneth Walker plays well, the Seattle offense is much, much better.
Much better than it should be.
Nice to see him play well. And yeah, I would say a season-saving road win for the Seattle Seahawks, and one they had to have. 0-2 is a rough start to any season.
Absolutely, and I'm glad that they did get the victory. For Pittsburgh, though, could this be the end to Mike Tomlin if the season doesn't go their way? I mean, this was a bad loss they took this weekend and a close win they had the other day with the Jets. So there are some questions to be asked for Mike Tomlin and the Pittsburgh Steelers for sure. Let's go now to Arizona, where Arizona took care of business, but very closely, 27-22 to the Panthers. I got the survivor pick correct, but I'm very just shocked how close this game went. The Cardinals won. Shouldn't have been that close, but they did win.
Yeah, I agree. The Cardinals were up 27-3 at one point. They kind of just let the Panthers crawl back into this game. A nice performance by Calais Campbell, the 39-year-old, with 2 sacks, including the game winner. I thought Bryce Young honestly looked pretty solid, but the Panthers can't keep digging themselves in these holes and expecting to crawl out of them. They've got to have stronger starts to these games they play. I mean, they have still not had a touchdown in the first half this year, and just a really sloppy performance overall. Meanwhile, for the Cardinals, I mean, 2-0 is 2-0, but they haven't really looked that good doing it. And they're going to have a real test this upcoming week. We're going to really see what the Cardinals are made of when they go on the road to San Francisco this week. But, 2-0 is 2-0, but they've got a lot of stuff they need to work on. Meanwhile, for the Panthers, you just got to start off stronger. If they can start off stronger, they can be a better team, but they've just not done that yet.
No question. And now we're going to move on to Indianapolis, where wait a minute, they won that game? Yeah, they did. 29-28. They barely made it, but they did. And Daniel Jones, I don't know. I mean, this might be the face of the franchise now. No more Anthony Richardson. Once again, the Colts looked really good. Broncos, I'm a little disappointed with that win, but wow, what a win for this Indianapolis Colts. You're in Indiana, so you got to watch the game on local television, which is awesome. So how was that game overall?
It was really fun. It's been a while since the Colts have been this much fun to watch. I mean, Daniel Jones, what a job he's done the first 2 weeks. I mean, over 300 passing yards this past week. No turnovers yet on the season, 3 rushing touchdowns. Jonathan Taylor doing his thing on the ground. Tyler Warren's he's probably the favorite right now for Offensive Rookie of the Year with the way he's played. Just a really nice job by the Colts being 2-0. Now, should they be 2-0? That's a bit debatable. I mean, they did. Their defense did not play great in this game. They had a couple starters out. 100%. And the penalty at the end, Shane Steichen's play calling at the end was really bad, playing for a 60-yard field goal, which ended up being missed. But the Broncos had a penalty for leverage, which it was a penalty. I mean, if you saw the replay, it's clearly a penalty. And the Colts got another shot and won the game. the one thing the Colts have to do is they have to finish drive. They have to finish off their drives in the red zone. I mean, they had 5 field goals yesterday, 2 touchdowns. You got to start converting those field goals into touchdowns. But this is the first time the Colts have been 2-0 since 2009. So it's a really nice start for Indy. They have their first road game of the season this week, which some people might think it's going to be easy. I think it could be a bit of a challenge. We'll have to see. And then on the Broncos side, they really just gave this game away. I mean, they had 2 drives. They had 2 drives in the fourth quarter. They both reached Colts territory, and they didn't score on either drive. And the Colts won by 1. So if they had scored on one of those drives, they probably would have ended up winning the game. But it's going to be a game that the Broncos are going to look down the season where if they're fighting for a playoff spot, they're going to be like, this game, we gave this game away. We had so many chances to win, and we couldn't. Yeah. But a nice job by the Colts showing their resilience, showing their grit, and getting to 2-0, which is just awesome.
And you made a great point. And remember, Denver almost had a chance of losing to that Titans team in week 1. So they could have really been 0-2 after this week, which is pretty crazy to think about. And considering that they were pretty much a heavy favorite to go far and to get a lot of wins this season. Let's go now to what was supposed to be the game of the week. It was kind of like, I guess you could say boring it to a sense because it was pretty much the same score for a while. But the final score of that game was the Eagles. They defeated the Chiefs 20-17. I got it right. Jack got it wrong. Broncos pick, by the way, you both got it wrong. But Eagles, once again, proving that they can always fly high and they can continue to dominate this Kansas City Chiefs team. And this Chiefs team hasn't been looking good. And I think if they don't win this week versus the Giants, they're in trouble. That's for sure.
I think they might already be in trouble right now. I mean, you've got the Chargers at 2-0. The Broncos are really good. And, the Chiefs have just not looked good at all. I will say on the Eagles front, their defense is great. I think the offense has some questions to answer, though. The offense hasn't really looked that great so far early in the season. New offensive coordinator, so I understand, but they're going to have to get this thing figured out soon. I mean, the Eagles also have a really tough opponent coming up this week. But a nice win overall for Philly on the road. It was really funny at the end. I don't know if you saw the video, but when the Eagles were kneeling at the end, Chris Jones said, you don't even have 100 yards in the game. And then Joe Hurt's we won the bleeping game. Shut your bleep up or whatever, It was so funny. I was like, yeah, the Chiefs are just, I don't even know. They're just losers. They're just a bunch of crybabies, I guess. I don't know. They just whine about everything. I think this is finally the year that their black magic is going to run out. I mean, it's already kind of run out. They're 0-2, and both have been one-possession games, which they didn't lose a single one last year. But, hey, good job by the Eagles. As I said, though, the Eagles do have some things they need to figure out. They've got to get that offense going, get A.J. Brown going. But if they can do that, then obviously they probably will be the favorites to repeat as Super Bowl champs. This is a stacked roster.
No question. And now let's move on to the Falcons and the Vikings, the Sunday night game, and we got a little bit of a twist here. Vikings injured has J.J. McCarthy injured, unfortunately, which means he'll be out for this week's game. On the flip side, the Falcons won the game. They won 22-6, and we both got the pick wrong. That's the other flip side of things. And Atlanta really showed that, you know what, we're going to actually come back. We're going to play hard. We're going to win this game. And they won. They did pretty good, and I believe they're 1-1 to start the season. So, yeah.
Yeah, I don't know why. I was questioning before this game even started why this was a Sunday night football game.
I agree.
And I was proven right. This is not a good game at all. But good job, great job by the Falcons defense. I mean, the Falcons defense has not looked this good in a while. And they just completely shut down J.J. McCarthy and the Vikings offense. I mean, they had 6 sacks on that reformed Vikings offensive line. The Falcons, I believe, had the fewest amount of sacks in the league last year. So that's a huge turnaround. They forced 3 turnovers. The offense didn't really do that much. They only scored 1 touchdown. They took advantage of the field position they were given. Bijan Robinson, Tyler Algier, both with strong performances on the ground. And a nice bounce-back win for the Falcons. And they have a very winnable game on the road this week. I think the Falcons have a chance to compete in this division. I mean, I like Michael Penix. I think the offense has some things they need to figure out. But if the defense can play the way they did last week, the Falcons are absolutely a team to watch out for in the NFC South.
And that is for sure, but they have a tough team in that division that is just as good and got a big victory the other day as well. The Buccaneers took care of business over the Texans 20-19. Buccaneers look really good so far these 2 games. I have some faith in this Buccaneers team, especially as they head into Jersey, as they take on the New York Jets this weekend in Tampa.
I just love Baker Mayfield. I love him so much. He's probably my favorite player who's not on the Colts, to be quite honest. That guy is just, an absolute. He's a dog. He really is. Just the way he goes out there, the way he competes, he he really just gets the vibes going. I am so happy for him. He was wronged by the Browns. He was in Carolina, didn't play well there, had his little revival with the Rams, and now with the Bucks, he's been one of the best quarterbacks in the league. And as I said, I picked him to win MVP this year, and I think he's a worthy candidate through the first 2 weeks. I mean, two game-winning drives in the final minute each of the first 2 weeks. Now, sure, it might be a little unsettling that they're having to win these close games early on, but at the same time, both these wins have come on the road. Emeka Buka's had 3 touchdowns already. Bucky Irving's been great. The Bucks defense was really good yesterday. Meanwhile, on the Texans side, there's a lot of reason to be concerned. I mean, something just does not feel right. I mean, even going back to last year, this Texans team has just been really strange. It seems like they've just been taking advantage of a weak division, but with the Colts being 2-0, with the Jaguars looking like a better team, they might not be able to limp their way back into the playoffs this year. I mean, CJ Stroud has not looked that great. The offensive line's been bad. I mean, Nico Collins is kind of the only guy on the offense who's actually playing well. Granted, their defense is awesome, although they had a rough 2-minute drill at the end of the game. But a rough start for the Texans. They go on the road to face the Jaguars this week, who have looked pretty good. So this will be another tough test for Houston, and an 0-3 start would be detrimental to their playoff hopes.
1,000%. And now the final game. The Chargers took care of business with the Raiders, 20-9. Raiders did not look good at this game. Chargers, they look really good. And the Chargers, they are already off to a 2-0 start and are looking good as they head the rest of the way down.
Yeah, I was wrong about the Chargers. I had the Chargers going like 9-8 this year, missing the playoffs, because I just thought that their success wasn't sustainable. But I just underestimated Jim Harbaugh and his ability to build his team building ability. I mean, he's probably the best team builder out of any coach in the league. And Justin Herbert has looked. I think this is the best we've ever seen Justin Herbert look as a quarterback. I have my doubts about him too, and he's probably been the MVP the first 2 weeks with the way he's played. And how about the Chargers defense not giving up a touchdown? Yikes, Geno Smith. What a terrible performance with 3 interceptions. I guess you shouldn't feel too bad, Eli, about getting rid of him now with how bad he looked on Monday night.
Oh, I don't feel bad. But
yeah.
But on the other hand, though, Pete Carroll's a great coach, so I know he could turn this team around.
Pete Carroll is a great coach, but you got to get Ashton Jensen going. I mean, he has just not done much the first 2 weeks. Brock Bowers is kind of playing hurt. It was a really disappointing performance at home after a really impressive week 1 win. So just not really a good showing for the Raiders. And they also have a tough test next week, and we'll have to see how that goes.
All right, the last game that we're going to recap is from week 3, the Thursday night game that happened last night. The Buffalo Bills took care of business with the Dolphins, 31-21 the final. I got the survivor pick correct as I picked them because I had a good feeling about it. And Jack also got the pick right. And what a win for the Bills. But the Dolphins didn't play as bad as we had thought in this game.
No, they did not. They actually played. I mean, this game was tied in the fourth quarter. I was shocked. I mean, I don't think it was really because of Tua. I think the Dolphins defense had a pretty nice game. So did Devon Achane and Tyreek Hill and Jalen Waddle. They each had a touchdown in this game, but they just couldn't get it done. I mean, the Dolphins do this every time they play the Bills in Buffalo. It's a close game, and in the end, they just cannot finish the job. It was a rough game for Tua throwing that really bad interception in the fourth quarter to ice the game, and a nice win for the Bills. I mean, it was a close game, closer than it should have been, but division wins are never easy. Being 3-0, 3-0 is 3-0. Josh Allen has looked great. James Cook has looked great. The Bills' defense does have things they need to figure out. That defense has been kind of a bit sketchy to start the season. But, hey, the Bills being 3-0 is great. They're well on their way to winning another AFC East division title. I feel pretty confident saying that. And the Bills have plenty of time to clean up what they need to clean up and ultimately be fine in 2025.
No question. And with that, that concludes the recap portion of our show. Now it's time to move on to the picks portion. Jack, it's all you.
All righty, let's get this going. So we're both 1-0 this week, as Eli mentioned, with the Bills beating the Dolphins last night. Let's go to the Sunday slate. So we have, once again, 9 games in the 1 o'clock window, a packed early afternoon slate. We'll begin with the Fox slate. I meant packed in terms of like a lot of games, by the way. Not like how good the games are. I don't know. I think you said or something. I don't know.
No, I didn't.
Did I hear you? I must have heard somebody outside. The Falcons taking on the Panthers, 1 p.m. on Fox. The Falcons 1-1 after their win over the Vikings on Sunday night last week. Panthers 0-2. The Falcons are the favorites in this game by 5. I'll start the picks off here. I'm going with the Falcons 20-17. I just love the way their defense played last week. Michael Penix has looked great. Bijan Robinson might be the best running back in the league right now outside of Saquon Barkley and Derrick Henry. So I really like the Falcons in this game and the Falcons to go to 2-1. How about you, Eli?
You read my pick, but it's only the second straight week. But it's okay, though. It's okay.
17-14, close enough. 3-point win still. 3-point win, 17-14.
It's all right, though. I don't care.
Because the last 2 years I was on the left side of our screen, and now I'm on the right side. I'm still getting used to it.
I know. I got to change that.
No, it's all right. I'll get you. I'll remember now. Hopefully.
2017, give me the Falcons. I cannot trust the Panthers team. I got to go with the Falcons. It'll be close.
Yeah, fair enough. All right, the Packers taking on the Browns, 1 p.m. I don't even have to say 1 p.m. on Fox because these 4 games are all on Fox at 1 p.m. Packers taking on the Browns. These two teams have had completely opposite starts to their seasons. The Packers are 2-0. They've looked like the best team in the league through the first 2 weeks. Meanwhile, the Browns 0-2, and they've maybe looked like the worst team in the league through the first 2 weeks. The Packers are favored by 8. I'm honestly shocked it's not more. There's no question here. Packers win 28-13. Lock it in by lock of the week for week 3. How about you, Eli?
I'm also going to lock it up for my lock of the week. Give me the Packers 33-12. If the Packers don't win this game, we've got something to talk about.
Yeah, especially after the way they've looked the first 2 weeks. Next up, the Raiders taking on the Commanders. This is also on Fox. Washington favored by 3.5. We still don't know what we're going to see from Jaden Daniels on Sunday. He has not been ruled out, but we also don't know if he's going to play, if he's going to be on a snap count. We don't really know what's going on there. I don't really care, though. I mean, the Raiders just looked so bad last week, and this game's in Landover, Maryland. I'm taking the Commanders 23-20, really regardless if Jaden Daniels plays, because I think Marcus Mariota is a good enough backup quarterback, one of the better ones in the league. And I ultimately think the Commanders bounce back from their Thursday night loss. They've had extra time to prepare for this game. So 23-20, the Commanders win.
I'm going to say the opposite. I'm going to go for my upset pick of the week, the Las Vegas Raiders 28-24. Here's my reasons why. Number one, we don't know what's going on with Jaden Daniels. He's likely going to be ruled out, but even if he does play, I don't expect the Commanders to play as well as they should. Remember, Raiders, week 1, they looked pretty good. Although they had some issues last week in week 2, I think they're going to bounce back and win this week, and that's why I think they're going to take the victory here, 28-24. Give me the Raiders.
All right, so we disagree on that one. Next up, the Rams taking on the Philadelphia Eagles, 1 p.m. on Fox. This is a playoff rematch from last year of the divisional round. Both of these teams are 2-0. This is one of 2 2-0 matchups we have in the NFL this week. We have 10 teams, by the way, that are still 2-0. I forgot to mention that.
Not anymore after this week.
Not anymore after this week, because there will be at least 2 that will not be 2-0. The Eagles are favored by 3.5 here. This is a really tough game. I mean, the Eagles have had the Rams number, but at the same time, the Rams nearly beat them in the playoffs last year, and this might be the best Rams team they've had since the Super Bowl victory, adding Devontae Adams, having that great defense, having one of the best coaches in the league. And you know what? I know this game's in Philly, but I'm going to take the Rams to win this game in an upset. It's not my upset of the week, but it is an upset. So I'm taking the Rams 26-24 to move to 3-0. I just love this receiving duo of Puka Nacua and Devontae Adams. The Eagles' offense has looked really sketchy to start the year. I think the Rams' defense is going to be able to get a lot of pressure on Jalen Hurts and to keep them out of those short yardage situations where they can do the tush push. And ultimately, I think the Rams go on the road and get a huge win over the Eagles.
Wow. Yeah, no, I have to say, fly, Eagles, fly. I am not picking against the Philadelphia Eagles. Final score 26-23, Eli special. I got to go with Philly. They're just looking pretty good right now.
Yeah, completely fair. No issues there. Next up, a game that really we should not have any reason to disagree. The Jets taking on the Buccaneers. This is also a Fox game. No Justin Fields for the Jets. It's going to be Tyrod Taylor out there. This is really no question. The Bucs, it's their home opener. I took it to be loud in Tampa Bay. There's a lot of hype around the Bucs this year. We don't know what the status of Mecca Ibuka is going to be like. He's missed practice this week with injuries. I don't know if he's going to play, but I don't really care. I'm taking the Bucs to win 24-6. I just love the way Baker Mayfield's played. I think Mike Evans is going to have a breakout game this week. I think the Bucs defense is going to show something. I thought they showed something last week against a really good quarterback in C.J. Stroud. yeah, this game's in Tampa Bay. There's really no reason for me to go against the Bucks right now. So give me Tampa Bay 24-6.
I have to go with Tampa Bay to win this game, 24-17. Something's going to tell me that they're going to come back and try to keep this game close for some reason. I don't know why I'm thinking that, but that's what I'm doing. But I have the Buccaneers winning 24-17. If Tampa doesn't win this, we got something to talk about as well next week.
Next up, an AFC South bout between the Texans and the Jaguars. We're now into the 1 p.m. on CBS window. The Jaguars are favored by 1. Houston 0-2. Quite a bit surprising there. Meanwhile, Jacksonville 1-1. They really should be 2-0. This is a really hard game for me to pick. I mean, the Texans have had their way with the Jaguars in Duval County. I mean, the last time the Jaguars beat the Texans in Jacksonville was 2017. So it's been a long time since the Jaguars have won a home game against the Texans. And ultimately, I think that streak continues. I'm going to take the Texans here. I just think they're the more desperate team. They're 0-2. They haven't really looked that good doing it. I don't know. I just think CJ Stroud has something to prove this week. I think he's going to go out there and have a great game. I think Nico Collins is going to have a good game. The Texans defense has not been the problem. The Texans defense has been great. And ultimately, I think the offense does just enough to win 23-17 in Jacksonville.
Yeah, I'm going to say the opposite. I think that the Texans have not looked good for the past 2 weeks. The Jaguars had a potential winning last week, and there's something telling me that the Jaguars are going to win this week and get their first win of the season. Give me the Jacksonville Jaguars 24-22. Not my upset pick of the week, but it is an upset.
All right, let's move on to 1 p.m. on CBS. I cannot believe this is the Nance and Romo game, but it's the Bengals and the Vikings. Jake Browning versus Carson Wentz. Yeah, that's true as well. They can't really flex it. It was going to be Joe Burrow versus J.J. McCarthy, which would have been pretty interesting. But now we have Jake Browning versus Carson Wentz. The Vikings are the 3-point favorites here. I had no idea what to do for this game. But ultimately, the Jags defense having 3 interceptions last week makes me concerned for what the Vikings defense is going to do to Jake Browning, because the Vikings also have one of the best defenses in the league. I believe they've only allowed 3 offensive touchdowns all season up to this point. So I'm going to take the Vikings here 14-13. I also think that the veteran experience plays a factor here. I think Carson Wentz having more experience than Jake Browning. Kevin O'Connell has shown that he can make it work with any quarterback in that Vikings offense. And ultimately, I think the defense is the reason they win this game. The offense does just enough. And I think the Vikings go to 2-1 and win 14-13.
Yeah, I think that this is just it's bad, obviously because of all the quarterback injuries and stuff. But I think I have to with the Vikings because the Bengals pretty much almost lost it last week. The Vikings, I think, are looking like the better team to win this game. So I'm going to go with them to win 18-15.
All right, next up, the Steelers facing the Patriots. A very historical matchup here. 12 Super Bowls combined between these two teams. They are playing in Foxborough. It's on CBS. The Patriots are wearing their awesome throwback uniforms. I absolutely love those jerseys, those red jerseys. They really should be just their home jerseys, to be quite honest. Those jerseys are absolutely awesome. The Steelers are favored by 1.5 on the road, which I think is a bit interesting considering the way they played last week.
I know.
I'm going with the Patriots here. I think the Patriots won 18-16. I thought Drake May had a really good performance last week. The Steelers' defense has not looked good the first 2 weeks. I mean, the Seattle offense played decently well on week 2, and then the Jets offense putting up 32 points in week 1. I ultimately think that the Patriots get a big win here at home, go to 2-1, and really start to turn things around with Mike Vrabel at the helm, and ultimately get a big win here, 18-16. How about you, Eli?
You see, I just don't trust this Patriots team. They haven't been looking good. They haven't looked like a team that's going to tell me, you know what, I have to pick them. This Steelers team, though, they looked pretty good with the Jets. They won the game. They did put up a decent amount of points versus Seattle, even though they didn't win the game. And although there's been some struggles, it's not the best game to look out for. But if I had to choose, I would have to go with Pittsburgh to win 26-20 is the final score. I don't trust this Patriots team. I have to go Pittsburgh 26-20.
Final game of the 1 o'clock window. Let's go down to Nashville. Another AFC South matchup. The Colts facing the Titans. Indianapolis favored by 3.5. The Colts sitting at 2-0 for the first time since 2009. Meanwhile, the Titans are sitting at 0-2. 2-0 versus 0-2. You would think that it would be not a close game, but I actually think it will be a pretty close game. I think the Titans have played much better than the 0-2 record shows. I think the Colts offense takes a bit of a step back this week. I still think the Colts win because I think their defensive pressure will be a factor. Cam Ward's taken 11 sacks the first 2 weeks. I think the Colts win by 5, 21-16. It's a close game, but I think Indy ultimately gets the job done on the road and moves to 3-0. How about you, Eli?
I'm going to go with the Indianapolis Colts 23-18. I trust Danny Dimes. I trust this Indianapolis team. I think they'll go far. Give me the Indianapolis Colts.
Yeah, absolutely. Next up, let's go to the late window now. We have two games, 4 and 5 on CBS. This first game could be the best game of the Sunday slate. The Broncos facing the Chargers. The Chargers are 2-0, and the Broncos should be 2-0, but they're 1-1. Both these teams made the playoffs last year. The Chargers swept the season series last year. The Broncos looking for some revenge. The Chargers are the 2.5-point favorites here. As much as I want to take the Broncos, I just can't. I love the way this Chargers team has played the first 2 weeks. It's kind of funny that their first 3 games have all been divisional games, right? Chiefs in week 1,
crazy.
Raiders last week, and now the Broncos. They played all 3 teams in their division already through the first 3 weeks. I'm excited for this game, mainly because Kevin Harlan's going to be on the call and because it's going to be a great game. As I said, Chargers win 30-27. I think Justin Herbert has another good game. The Broncos defense did not look that good last week against Danny Dimes. So I think the Chargers offense puts up quite a few points. And ultimately, despite the Broncos keeping things close, I think the Chargers win.
I agree. I think the Chargers win this game 28-20. They should take care of business, no problem here. The Chargers look like the better team. Denver's been struggling. Despite the one win that they had in week 1, I think they get the victory here.
All right, the Saints facing the Seahawks, 4:05 on CBS. Seattle favored by 7.5 here. Yeah, there's really no debate on this one. I'm taking the Seahawks. Low-scoring game, 19-9. I think both defenses are going to play I think both defenses are going to play really well, but I think the Seahawks ultimately win. And I'm going to go ahead and lock that in for my survivor pick for week 3.
I'm going to go with the Seattle Seahawks 26-15. Seattle has to win this game. If they don't win this game, there are some questions to talk about the following week. The Saints might play pretty well, but I think the Seahawks will pull through.
All right, let's go to a pretty disgusting America's Game of the Week, 4:25 on Fox. The Cowboys facing the Bears. I cannot believe we're all going to have to suffer and watch this game, but we're all in it together. It's okay, guys.
49ers better. I think I'd rather watch that game, even though
that is better. It is better. They should have.
The 49ers aren't like a healthy team right now. I'd rather see that game.
And the Cardinals haven't even looked that good, but still, that would be better than this game. Anyways, you know what? Let's just get this over with. The Bears are favored by 1.5 here. I don't even know how they're even.
How's that even possible? Wow.
Considering the way
Dallas won, but still.
I don't even really care about this game, to be honest. I'm just gonna take the Cowboys 19-14. I have no clue what to expect from this game, but I mean the Bears have just looked really bad, so I'm gonna take the Cowboys.
Yeah, I do. It's called the Bears. I don't trust them, and I don't think that they're gonna play well, and that's why I think the Cowboys should win this game 22-12.
Cardinals 49ers, what should be America's Game of the Week. It's
49ers battling injuries, so it makes sense, but still.
Yeah, it's indoor. This game is up in Northern California, Levi Stadium, the site of Super Bowl 60 in 2026. The Niners are favored by 1.5 here. We still don't know if we're going to see Brock Purdy play on Sunday. I don't really care, though. I'm taking the Cardinals to win this game 24-20. I think the 49ers just have too many injuries, and I think it's finally going to catch up to them this week against a much better opponent. And the Cardinals will move to an impressive 3-0, in my opinion.
And just want to point out, I think the game that should have been flexed into the 4 o'clock window as America's Game of the Week, and it is on Fox, Rams Eagles. I don't know how that's
exactly
Game of the Week.
Exactly.
I don't control everything in the NFL, as we know. We love to see Dallas, I guess, in America. But let's go with Arizona to win this game 24-16. San Francisco's battling injuries. Arizona should be able to win this game, no problem. All
right, good pick, Eli. Let's move on to 0-2 versus 0-2 that's taking place on Sunday Night Football, as we all won. 8:20 on NBC. The 4-time Super Bowl champion Kansas City Chiefs facing the New York Giants. The Chiefs are favored by 6, but I just do not like the way the Chiefs have played. And the Giants kind of surprised me a bit last week. So for my upset pick of the week, give me the New York Football Giants to knock off the Kansas City Chiefs 21-19. This one is really just based off vibes. I think the Chiefs have just had some really bad vibes to start the season. And I don't know. Russell Wilson has kind of had his way with the Chiefs a little bit over the last couple of years. And I think that the Giants win this game. I really do. 21-19, my upset pick of the week. It might be a stupid pick, but I'm riding with the Giants on Sunday night at home.
This could be ultimately the worst pick that you've ever made on this show. I just want to point that out.
It could be. It could be. It definitely could be.
But I thought taking the Broncos, what was my pick? I was thinking about the Broncos for Survivor a couple of weeks ago. Oh, the Bears for Survivor. It was like, that was my pick. I think it was 2 years ago on the show. I think that was
I
my
forgot.
pick.
I forgot who was against.
I
but
know I
yeah.
have the video. I have to take a look. Take a
Oh
look.
yeah, it was. Oh yeah, it was Bears Broncos. That's right.
Bears Broncos.
That's
I
right.
took Bears for
That's
Survivor.
right. I
That was
remember
my
that
worst
game
pick of
now.
the show.
Oh
But
my
this might actually just top it for the worst pick of the
god, it really could.
It
But
really
I
could
don't know.
be, to be honest, your worst pick that you've ever made on this show. I just want to point that out.
It could be, but I don't know. I just think the Giants have a chance to win. I really do.
Before I make my pick, I just want to say who makes the Sunday night football schedule, because this is the worst possible game you could put on Sunday night. I can name you another game possibly right now that can be in the Sunday night slot, but you know what? My other argument for a different day, right? Yeah, I don't know how you picked this for an upset. I mean, this might be the worst upset, as I said. I gotta pick the
I
Chiefs.
didn't know what else to pick.
The Chiefs can't go 0-3 to start the season. They have to win. Give me the Chiefs 22-9. 9.
Oh, that's great. All right, let's move on to Monday Night Football.
We're gonna create a banner next week for you. Just want to point out worst pick of the year.
This is probably the game of the week right here. The Lions and the Ravens. Well, it won't be game of the week if the Giants win on Sunday night, which they will. But the Lions facing the Ravens, 8:15 on ABC and ESPN. The Ravens are favored by 5.5 here. I don't know. This is gonna be a great game. This could be a Super Bowl preview for all we know. I'm gonna go with the Ravens, 38-35, high scoring game.
Ooh.
I expect there to be so much back and forth here. I am so excited to watch this game. And yeah, I think the Ravens ultimately get the win here at home and move to 2-1.
This is going to be one of the best games definitely to watch for the week. I'm so excited. It's on Monday night. It's going to be excellent to watch. Give me the Baltimore Ravens 26-23 to win this game. I think it's a low scoring but very good game though. Give me the Ravens. And Jack, can't wait to report about the worst pick of the week next week. But hey, I'd love to be wrong, but I don't know. I think you might have qualified for the worst pick of the show's history.
I know. We'll just have to see what happens. Giants country. We'll try. I don't know. Anyway,
the sore.
That's going to do it for this week's. That's pretty good. That's going to do it for this week's edition of the 12th Horseshoe podcast.
Yes.
Thank you to everyone for tuning in this week. Join Eli tomorrow morning at 10 a.m. for Sports with Mono and Mono with Jim Monahan. Monahan. Okay, I was right. Okay. Yeah. Join us next Friday for our week 3 recap and our week 4 picks. I can't believe we're already that far into the season, but
I know. We're almost done with. By the way, tomorrow, the Sunday is the 21st night of September. Earth, Wind, and Fire.
Yep, that's right. All right. Well, thank you everyone for watching. That's Eli Weintraub. I'm Jack Rizzo. We will see you all next week. Go Colts. Go Rangers. Hockey season's almost underway. So we will see you next week. Goodbye.
Go Liberty. Go win tonight.
Oh, yeah.